I grew up in Chicago. Family was very important.
I was born in New Jersey.
We always got to visit the zoo, and that's been a lifelong interest of mine.
I started college in Washington, D.C., and I ended up at Michigan, and then grad school at Northwestern.
I went to Brown for undergraduate, and I was a chemistry and economics major, and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to pursue business or science. So I ended up going to the University of Chicago in a PhD program in geochemistry. After a couple of years, I decided that wasn't what I wanted to spend the rest of my life doing.
When I was in Northwestern, I got my MBA and I majored in finance and targeted my job search to more corporate. After Northwestern, Harry and I actually started work the same day at G.D. Searle, so that's where we met. And people say, I can't believe you work, with your husband and father-in-law, but we've always worked together and we actually enjoy it.
We flew to Canton, Ohio for our wedding, and that was some time ago, on May 18th, 1980. Same day Mount St. Helens blew up, which for a geologist is terrific. It's a wonderful way to memorialize a wedding. But people, every year around May, you'll see in the paper, boy, do you remember when Mount St. Helens blew up? And somehow we remember exactly. In 1981 that we moved out here, so just about a year after we were married. We wanted to have an opportunity to try an entrepreneurial pursuit, and 35 years later, it's worked out pretty well.
Roy and Marilyn were role models for me when we arrived.
There was expertise here. There was great interest on the part of my parents, and financially they were able to access these works.
We had weekly talks with Roy, so he was sort of letting us know what his thoughts were about the business. But I guess I was very nervous and a little afraid of him at first because he's was such a smart guy. But after I would say 5 years, I don't know if it took that long, we became best friends actually. We were buddies.
Roy and Marilyn spent about 2.5 years living in the Philippines. They both developed an interest in Asian art, having been in the Philippines and having traveled extensively in Southeast Asia. Prior to their passing, they had gifted 40 works from the collection to the Phoenix Art Museum. And Rose and I have arranged for 15 works that did not go to Sotheby's. It's very complicated, but my hope is that those will find their way into a charitable foundation that Rose and I are creating.
In education, we have the Flint Scholars. I've served to help on the nominating this year, and we really did look for diversity in fields and in geography, and to try to enrich each other, but bringing various experiences. I've been involved with the garden for probably 25 years. Board chair said to Roy, well, do you have anyone that you would recommend as you leave the board? And he goes, Roy said, yes, Rose. She actually likes plants.
I've been on that board for 33 years. I was off for 1 year due to board rotation, but they looked around and they thought I'd make a good board chairman. So I've served in that capacity previously, but I'm currently board chair at the Phoenix Zoo. And again, it's a great passion for me. And I haven't been to the zoo since last weekend, and I'm not going back until tomorrow at 8 o'clock to give a tour. I've been on the Blue Cross board for the last 12 years, and I'm past chairman. The great joy of that business is we're not shareholder owned, we're not publicly traded, so we are a community resource. And our policy from the CEO to my friend Juan at the front desk, is we do the right thing.
I don't know as much about art as I do about other things, but I love it, and I love the Chinese art. And I just want to put in something for Marilyn. Marilyn and Roy started collecting Leroy Neiman too, back in the 70s, and Roy was very proud of Marilyn. And he would say that Marilyn's made more money on her Leroy Neimans than Roy has in stocks. I don't know if that's true, but she had a great eye, and so they had other art in addition to the Chinese. So the art museum is wonderful, and it's become a big interest of mine.